Welcome back to NCOT and welcome to the first edition of the NCOT Awards. Woo! Jazz hands.
Yes.
So the Oscars happened, what, a week, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, I
A little
think.
bit under 2 weeks. And I mean, we're really excited. We watch the Oscars every year. We try to at least. And we just wanted to do something similar. I mean, this being the first year, we're going to go based on what happened at the Oscars. So it's kind of like a double whammy of a Oscar review, what happened at the Oscars, who won, who we thought of should have won, and whatnot. But we're also going to give you a little bit of what we think should have happened. And we'll give them our golden clapboard.
Insert stock image here.
Insert our
trophy.
word right here.
Yes. We will preface this by saying we did not get a chance to see every movie that was nominated. So there will be many a times when we have to automatically eliminate someone from the running because we just frankly did not see their performance. So for instance, The Holdovers and Zone of Interest, we did not get a chance to see those movies. And there's others
So Side of the Snow, I'm sure should have won for Best International, but like I didn't watch it.
Yeah, we also didn't see American Fiction. We didn't see Maestro.
Yeah. There's only so many hours to the day.
I think we saw about half of the films that were nominated. So I still think this will be a fair recap.
You'll definitely see the balance being like more on one side and whatnot, but we're gonna try to be super fair and based on what we've seen. So you might get some surprises that were not even at the Oscars whatsoever.
Yes. Shall we just jump right into it?
Let's do it. What is our first category?
Actor in a leading role.
So we're starting strong.
Oh yeah, starting with all the acting awards. Okay. So the winner was Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, which we both agreed was the correct choice. We didn't see any of the other performances by any of the other nominees. But we like Cillian, so
but I
we
had this
happy.
small fear that it could have not won, because I know some of the other performances are appraised. Obviously, they were nominated for the Oscars. So
right.
But no, Cillian definitely killed it, and he deserved it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the movies that we did watch, I think, are the ones that we felt were more Oscar bait and more like we knew they were gonna win stuff.
Yeah. I can agree. You can see our other reviews that are posted on our channel if you want more in-depth reviews on what we thought about those films. But definitely we saw plenty that we knew would win a Oscar. If
and
not
I
for
think
acting,
we were pretty confident about
directing.
Cillian.
Yeah, we felt very confident. We did include 2 performances that we really liked.
Honorable mentions.
We wanted to throw into the running. The first one being our beloved Joaquin Phoenix from Napoleon. And then Timothée Chalamet for Wonka. You were the one who said that, actually.
Yeah, Wonka is, I mean, you can see the review. I don't really love musicals, but Timothée Chalamet did a great job. And then Napoleon, in our review, we said that he might have been a bit underutilized, but the role that he played, he did it really well.
Yeah.
So kudos to him.
The cringe that I felt, I think, deserves an honorable mention.
Yeah, for sure.
Next, we have actor in a supporting role. We saw 3 of the people that were nominated. Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, and Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. Now, Robert Downey Jr. won, which I forgot initially what his role was in that movie, like how well he did. But on like reflection, I'm like, okay, this made a lot of sense. But I personally was rooting really hard for Mark Ruffalo in Poor Things. I was obsessed with his performance. I was a little bit sad, but I understand.
It's definitely difficult.
Yeah.
Because both of them did such a great job. But I have to say, Robert Downey Jr., I'm really happy he got it. It was a Hulk or Iron Man situation. And it could have gone either way, and I guess I would have been happy with either one of them.
And we really saw them in roles that I don't think we had ever seen before. Like they both really shined brightly in the films that they were in this year. So I definitely hope that we get a chance to see them again.
And I think they're at a point in their careers in which this is just going to cement them as best actors of our era.
Definitely. Obviously, we did really like Ryan and Barbie, but I feel like he was definitely more third place compared to the other guys.
The Academy is really interesting because sometimes there are movies that are really, really good and we all love, and everyone knows that they're a blockbuster, but they're just not Oscar movies, you know?
Yeah. The Oscars are historically very specific on what they like to nominate and what they like to award. So sometimes you can break the mold, but other times, like with Barbie, for instance, you're not going to get the results that you think you might get. And we'll talk about that later with
and
other
it's happened
awards.
to the best of them. Like, it's happened to the Avengers many times. Like, it's just a thing that happens.
Well-loved movies by fans and audiences are a lot of the times never nominated for Oscars.
Which is why I think the Oscars should have a genre category.
Yeah, which we have. So we're excited for that. But one person that we wanted to shout out for supporting role was David Harbour in Gran Turismo. We both really enjoyed him in that movie. I thought he was really great.
He was so passionate in that movie. And he's just a great actor as well. And I'm glad that he got the start kind of like of his famous career with Stranger Things. But he's done a really good job. And I think his role in Gran Turismo was definitely underappreciated.
Definitely. Now I move on to actress in a leading role. The only one that we saw was Emma Stone for Poor Things. I still really need to see Killers of the Flower Moon. I have heard amazing things.
We just didn't get to it.
Exactly. We didn't get to it in time. I definitely want to see Lily's performance. I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed that she lost. I've heard that she was kind of like neck and neck with Emma. Obviously, we have no opinion on that because we haven't seen the performance yet. But I had a feeling as soon as I watched Poor Things that Emma would most likely win this Oscar, which she did. I have really no complaints there.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't matter my opinion on Poor Things in general. Like it or not, Emma Stone did a great job.
Yeah.
With Bella.
Bella Baxter.
Baxter. I mean, what can I say? She had to act in a way that had no emotions, but at the same time conveyed all of the feelings that the audience had to feel.
Yeah. So
it's just a really difficult job to do, and she did it.
There was just so much physicality she had to bring to the role, which I don't think any normal actor will want to take on. Physical. It was a lot of work and a lot of getting into situations with other actors where you really need that intimacy coordinator and you gotta push through, but she did amazing. No complaints there. Two other people that we wanted to shout out was Rachel Zegler for The Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
Really liked her a lot.
I mean, it still annoys me that she's so good in that role because of what's happened with her on the public eye. But I came out of that movie just being like, this girl, I'm a little happy she's Colombian. I'm a little proud.
Right. Yeah, definitely. She was really good. I loved both the singing and the mysteriousness of her. I think that was the first movie we had seen where she was an actress in it. We hadn't seen her work prior. We didn't see West Side Story, which because I saw
Shazam, but not Shazam 2, which is the one she's on.
Exactly. But we both really enjoyed her in that. We also want to shout out Margot Robbie for Barbie. I know a lot of people were disappointed that she wasn't nominated. Again, I can kind of understand, just compared to the other types of roles that were nominated, I understand why she wasn't included on the list. But I still think she did a really great job. And I want to shout her out.
Yeah, definitely a role that was beloved by the fans. But once again, not an Oscar type of movie that tends to be nominated.
Exactly. Which sucks, but that's, I guess, a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
Next, we have actress in a supporting role. The person who won made me want to see the movie that won. Davine Joy Randolph won for the Holdovers movie, and
which you were kind of brushing off when it was in theaters.
I know, but then I heard her speech, and then I heard more about the movie. Now we need to watch the holdovers. So we
Yeah.
can't really comment on who won. But Emily Blunt was nominated for Oppenheimer and America Ferrera won for Barbie. If we had to choose between the two of them, we decided that we would choose America Ferrera.
Emily Blunt's role was good, but not memorable. I don't think
feel
it
like
stuck with me.
in that movie, her role was smaller compared to, say, like,
Because there was so
Robert's
much happening
role.
in Oppenheimer.
So I couldn't remember her performance as much because I feel like we saw less and less of her as we went throughout the movie.
It's also the fact that Oppenheimer has very little female actresses. So it's more difficult.
A movie about men.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
difficult. But I still enjoyed the parts that she was in. I particularly loved America Ferrera's performance, though. I loved the whole monologue. It is a viral sound on TikTok for a reason. I've heard it being done as like monologues. for
Best
different
monologue
theater.
award? Question mark.
Yeah, seriously, like I really, really enjoyed her in the Barbie movie. So she would have won in my eyes. And then we wanted to also shout out Vanessa Kirby for Napoleon.
Yes.
She was amazing. I don't know how she was
good.
nominated.
I don't know how she. I think Napoleon was so overlooked this year.
Yeah.
Like I think because it was about a political figure, people didn't want to nominate it. But like, it was so good, and the cinematography and all of the actors. It was just an amazing movie.
Number one Napoleon fan here. But yeah, no, I loved Vanessa in this movie. There was something so shocking at times. Like I felt like I
Like sometimes
was
I hated
seeing
her.
her soul, but then like she did something else, and I was just like, "Who are you anymore? I
know.
don't know you anymore." Like it was insane, and she worked so well with Joaquin in the movie.
Oh yeah, even
They
though
had
Joaquin
perfect
looks so
chemistry.
much older, which I mean
Yeah.
probably was true with Napoleon and the wife, but I don't know.
Exactly. Oh, she was just great. She's amazing. I want to find out more stuff that Vanessa.
I think
Kirby's
she's.
been
I don't
in.
know if this was a fan cast or if she actually was casted for it, but Fantastic Four.
Really.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that up. Next, we go into the animated feature film.
Unfortunately, we didn't watch many of them.
We watched Elemental, and we watched the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
I am sad about that
Those were the only two movies that we had seen that
because I
were
really want to watch
animated.
Spider-Man, which is on Netflix, but the first Spider-Man is not anywhere that
yeah,
I can watch it.
And if you haven't seen the first Spider-Man, you obviously can't watch the sequel.
Our friends told us that you should definitely watch the first one before you watch the second one. So
basically, we're
haven't.
out of luck. We'll
And
have to find a way to
then,
watch it.
The Boy and the
The Boy and the Heron.
definitely want to watch that.
That looks breathtaking, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still surprised that Robert Pattinson is in that movie. But yeah, the only movie that we saw was Elemental on that list. So that automatically became
Mm-hmm.
our winner for our Cut Award.
Well,
That was the only one off the official Oscar list.
okay, got it.
But we also want to shout out the Super Mario Bros. Movie. We super enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
That was so much fun.
I really did.
Peaches was in my head constantly.
I still want to say that Super Mario could have won the NCOD awards, but I guess Ken and I came to a consensus that it should be
We
Elemental.
cried watching Elemental. What do you mean?
I know.
It was one of the most beautiful love stories that I was not expecting to see.
Mm-hmm.
It was like social commentary.
Underappreciated.
It was so underappreciated, and you just need to see it.
I guess we'll give it the golden
loved
clapboard.
Elemental. All right, moving into cinematography, we have, you'll notice a pattern.
Le
Poor
Magnifique.
Things and Oppenheimer nominated for this movie, with Oppenheimer being the winner. We saw this coming, I
Yeah.
think, from like a mile
We knew.
away.
We knew.
Yeah. I understand where you might have a case for Poor Things, but I think that was more like the
Editing.
production design and the editing,
And visual
which I
effects.
think
We'll
they
get to
did
it.
get some stuff for that. But as far as cinematography goes, loved
Mm-hmm.
Oppenheimer for that. It was just beautiful. It was a gorgeous
Yeah.
film.
I mean, all of the memes and everything of you watching it first row is just so true.
Yeah.
It just feels. This year was amazing for cinematography, and I'm so happy for it.
Definitely. It was amazing.
Yeah.
We do obviously also want to shout out Napoleon again. I don't know how to say the cinematographer's name, but I'll do my best. Darius Wolski. That is a cinematographer for Napoleon.
In my review, I mentioned how Napoleon could have given Oppenheimer a run for its money in cinematography, but it wasn't even nominated.
I know.
Unfortunate.
I don't know. I do not know. Costume design. So, Poor Things, Barbie, Napoleon, and Oppenheimer were all nominated, with Poor Things being the winner. And I'm pretty positive both agreed that made sense.
Yeah, I think this is one that Barbie could have easily taken.
Yeah.
Had Poor Things not come out at the end of December.
I know. Yeah, because there was just so a little bit more whimsical craziness to the costumes.
Because
that just overshadowed Barbie by a little bit.
Yeah, Oppenheimer and Napoleon, although really well done, they were more basic, more historical, more classic.
Yeah.
As for Barbie, was really colorful, and they really had to like bring in the actual costumes that Barbies have worn in the past.
So much fashion. Movie, yeah.
But then Poor Things came in and said, you know what? We're just gonna do a better job.
We're gonna take that and make it modern art.
Yeah, make it whimsical
make it
art.
Super whimsical. So yeah, definitely loved it. We do want to shout out the Hunger Games costume design by Trish Somerville.
A lot of good contrast.
We really did like that. I mean, in general, I think
I don't know how
you
Hunger
haven't
Games didn't get anything.
seen the rest of the Hunger Games movies, but all of the Capitol always have gorgeous, beautiful costumes. Yeah. So I'm really happy that they continued that pattern.
And they didn't lower the quality.
They made it even more whimsical. So yeah, little shout out there. Next, the biggest award of the night, directing. We have Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer and Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. With Oppenheimer being the winner, we were very excited.
Good job,
when
all of them.
Oppenheimer was announced.
Christopher Nolan, that's his very first Academy Award
I know.
for directing.
Can you believe that? I swore
really happy
up
for
and
him.
down Nolan has already gotten multiple Oscars.
No,
Because
he
like,
probably
it
was
just
close
made
with Batman
sense.
and stuff, but
I know.
no, just
But
didn't
I
get
was very happy for him. And I think it was very
well
deserving.
deserved. There is so many moving pieces, pretty similar to Poor Things. There's so many characters, but with Oppenheimer even more, because you're not only managing a set of cast, but you're doing that in 3 different timelines and trying to bring these stories together cohesively.
Yeah.
So,
And we mentioned this too when the actors were doing interviews. They mentioned how the script was written in first person, which that I don't think I ever heard of that before, and that just sounds like a mind melt where you have to like figure out how to shoot that in first person and how all of their work as actors were to support Cillian's role.
Yeah, the actors were mentioning
him.
how the director's mission was to full on have every single character support character the Cillian's character Oppenheimer in his mission. So
definitely, it was really cool. Really well done.
There's nothing to do with that.
Poor Things obviously will be a close second in our hearts. I'll have to see the rest of them. I've heard absolutely amazing things about the Zone of Interest.
Yeah, me too.
Which makes me interested in seeing that. I've already seen like the trailer. It looks beautiful. So when we see it, we'll maybe put it in the comments if we change our minds. But we did also want to shout out Ridley Scott for Napoleon and Greta Gerwig for Barbie. Both of these, I feel like, definitely should have been on the list. I can understand why Oppenheimer would have beaten them.
Yeah.
Just based on the Academy's
It
history.
still would have happened.
But I still wish that they would have been nominated.
For what they gave us.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of controversy out there about Barbie, but I guess we can just look at it from the impact perspective. Like, if you take all of the technicality out of it, just look at how impactful Greta Gerwig's directing job in this movie was, and give it a shot, you know. But what can you do?
You can't convince them now. It's
That's,
a little bit too late.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, we're not a part of the Academy.
That's not how the Academy
But
does
I really hope Greta knows how much we all loved the movie, regardless of the award. I think that's like one of the hardest parts of going into blockbuster filmmaking is that some of the more prestigious cinema folk will just sort of brush anything off that is well loved by the masses and see that as like almost like a diminishing factor.
Now, here's what we have to remember, that Greta's job was not just directing. A director puts their hands in every single aspect of filmmaking usually. So any awards that Barbie has gotten in general, Greta had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
So it's not that Greta's work has been overlooked. It's just that it was focused in other areas.
Yeah, definitely. But we love you, Greta. Absolutely love you. And we will move on into film editing. So our usual friends, Oppenheimer and Poor Things, were nominated, with Oppenheimer being the winner. We definitely saw this coming, again, primarily because of the multiple
because
timelines that were going on.
At hindsight, we really wanted to say Poor Things should have won this one, but then we started reflecting back on Oppenheimer because we watched it so long ago, and Poor Things was so fresh in our mind. But Oppenheimer, different timelines, different color corrections.
Oh, I can't even imagine how painful that color correcting was.
I know.
Going from like black and white to color and
because
around.
all be all,
Yeah.
Poor Things had a pretty similar color correction once it left the black and white, but Oppenheimer, I don't know, it was just so breathtaking.
There's so much more happening that kept your
and the
attention.
sound, I know sound
Yeah.
is separate, but I don't know, it's just amazing.
It was beautiful. Chef's kiss.
Gotta watch it again.
And almost kind of for like a similar thing is why we wanted to shout out Gran Turismo.
Yes.
Editing done by Austin Danes. There was so much done. I guess this is also like VFX, but there was so much done to bring the video game to life. We were just like blown away, being like, "This is so cool!"
Like, take it from me, I play video games, but I don't enjoy car racing games, and I don't enjoy car racing in real life. But this movie had me absolutely hooked into this life that I've never seen. Just by the editing and by the sound and by the subject matter.
It was great.
Overlooked.
What can we do? Makeup and hairstyling is our next one. Again, Poor Things and Oppenheimer were nominated.
There was sweeping the floor.
With Poor Things being the winner, which this made sense to me immediately, just based on the fact alone of Willem Dafoe's prosthetics on his face. I want to put like a picture here. There was just something so intricate about the way that they put his face back together.
And it looks so natural.
And it looks so incredibly natural. And the way that like the makeup and hairstyling, it added to the time period, but also added the more whimsical coloring to it. And the way that Bella always did look so different.
I know.
From the rest of the world, just by like hair alone, like her really long black kind of curled locks just kind of coming down. Yeah, it was beautiful.
It was gorgeous. And again, Oppenheimer, more classical, more historically accurate.
Yeah.
Not necessarily memorable per se.
Yeah. I find it hard to fully appreciate traditional or like old age makeup when prosthetics are right there. I'm always more blown away by prosthetics than simple like aging makeup, but to each their own. We did want to shout out the Hunger Games for this, with Nikki Gooley for hair and Sherry Berman for makeup. We really enjoyed it. I mean, again, the Capitol is always super stylish, and that continues with their hair and their makeup.
Yep.
It was amazing. Really enjoyed it. Hunter looked incredible. So next we have music,
Toughy.
which, there's some tough things that we wish would have been nominated but did not. But What Was I Made For from Barbie by Billie Eilish, and I'm Just Ken from Barbie, written by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt, were both nominated. We did
Y'all are gonna hate me. We
did in a way hear the other songs because they were played like throughout the night. I personally am super happy that What Was I Made For won. I really enjoyed the song, and he's going to tell you why he did not enjoy it.
I'm going to preface this by saying that I listened to the song as it came out before I watched the movie, and I had no idea that it had anything to do with the movie. I thought it was just a standalone song. I listened to it, and my first thought was, she has better music. I mean, if you look at Billie Eilish's music, there is so many good songs in there that could easily be way better than What Was I Made For. And then when I watched the movie, I was like, all right. Like, it makes sense. It's a good song for the movie, but
we did want to do a special shout out to Peaches, sung by Jack Black from the Super Mario Bros. Movie. And Nothing You Can Take, sung by Rachel Zegler for Hunger Games.
This was so difficult for me because What Was I Made For is my least favorite song of the bunch. Including I'm Just Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was a banger. So much so that they had to play it at the Oscars, and they know. And
well, of course they had to play it. It was nominated.
Oh, I guess. That's true. But anyways, like, oh my goodness. But then my sadness that one didn't went away when I realized that I had to be sad because the Hunger Games one wasn't nominated. And then that kind of went away when I realized that the Bowser song wasn't nominated. It was just so heartbreaking for me. Like, these songs are not just good. Like, Jack Black is good. But also, the amount of people that just cling onto these songs for so long on social media.
That's true.
I mean, these songs just became iconic immediately. So what else do you need? Mm-hmm. But I guess that goes again to say that the Oscars don't just look at how people react to something. They also look at the technicality of it and whatnot. And it's whatever.
They also look how it potentially relates to the movie as well. Yeah. But I don't know for sure.
I personally want to give it to Peaches.
Understandable. Yeah. I can see that.
What would you give it to?
I think it went to the right choice. But to each their own. Okay. Production design. Poor Things, Barbie, Napoleon, and Oppenheimer were all nominated. Mm-hmm. With Poor Things being the winner.
Yeah.
There
was nothing to do in there. Like, Barbie.
It was beautiful.
Take it from me. A lot of the production value in Barbie came into the editing with the different backgrounds and color correction and whatnot. The production design itself in Barbie wasn't at the level of Poor Things. Same thing with Oppenheimer. A lot of it came in editing. A lot of it came in acting itself. The production value in Poor Things is astronomical.
I feel like you have like a funny sort of like elevation from like it's like a gate. Oppenheimer, Barbie, Poor Things. Like, it elevates into just how much they can fit in.
And what was the other
on
one?
Their sets? Napoleon.
I mean,
Napoleon and Oppenheimer are kind of similar, just because they're both like more like historical.
Yeah, and I will even say Napoleon a little bit more than Oppenheimer, just because the amount of people that had to be on set for like the war scenes and whatnot.
Exactly, making it look historically accurate.
And desert and snow, blah blah blah.
I definitely like really enjoyed all of the sets on Barbie. Yeah. It was super nostalgic for me that I actually like owned the dolls. I was super happy with all the little references they put in.
I didn't love the office because in the trailers it seemed like it was gonna be a much bigger deal with him being like the enemy and whatnot. The Mattel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot the name for it. Yeah, I get that. But overall, like, I really enjoyed it. I understand though why Poor Things got it, because they just did so much more.
Nothing to do.
They fit so much more. It was crazy. We did again want to shout out the Hunger Games though. Uli Hennessy. I'm so sorry. But that is another
I think that movie should have been
liked.
nominated on top, like above Oppenheimer, Napoleon, and even Barbie.
Hunger Games?
Yeah. The production value? Okay.
I don't know.
It wouldn't have won anyways. Poor Things was definitely the righteous winner.
Of course. Okay, so for sound, the only movie on the list that we watched is Oppenheimer. Again, I really want to see The Zone of Interest. That's the one that won. But obviously, we kind of have to give our award to Oppenheimer.
There you go,
We didn't see anybody else.
With the sound. Okay, but I will... Caitlin actually disagreed with me, but I wanted to give an honorable mention to... I was going to say NASCAR.
Gran Turismo.
To Gran Turismo. With all the zoom, zoom, zoom.
That's it.
That's it.
It was just for the zooms.
It was breathtaking, like I said. Moving on.
The zoomies were breathtaking. Okay. Visual effects. We've been kind of watching The Creator. We watched a little bit of it, paused it, have not watched it for a month.
Yeah.
We have not seen Guardians of the Galaxy, but we like Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first two we've watched.
So, yeah. We've not seen Godzilla -1,
but we've
seen all the ads and trailers. Effects. So we're like, yeah, that makes sense. That one. If you can understand our thought process here.
Yeah, this one was definitely a difficult one.
Yes, Napoleon though was also nominated. We did give the award to Napoleon.
Yeah, like
on our end.
We specifically talked about Napoleon's special effects in our review.
Yeah.
And the dead horse and whatnot.
Bodies falling through the water.
Yeah. It was really well done.
All that craziness.
But I'm pretty sure after I watch the other movies, because I definitely want to watch them all, my thinking is that I'm probably going to go with either Guardians of the Galaxy or... And I'd say The Creator.
I think The Creator.
Yeah.
The kid alone in the advertisements is what blew me away.
Yeah.
When we finish it.
Mind you, we're watching The Creator and we haven't even seen the kid. So
I know.
You can tell how long
we've only
how
seen like holograms and robot people running around. We haven't seen like the main plot. But oh well. Next we have 2 of the writing awards, one for adapted screenplay, one for original screenplay. I think for original screenplay, we scrapped the whole category because we had not seen a single movie that was included on the list. Yeah. Anatomy of a Fall won for that. Have not
Sounds
seen
great.
it. We've obviously heard of The Holdovers, Maestro, and Past Lives. I have not heard of May December. I would have to look that one up.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they're all fantastic movies and go check them out. For adapted screenplay, American Fiction won, which I really need to see American Fiction.
And it's based in Boston, so.
Literally. But Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things were all nominated. In our opinion, we gave it to Oppenheimer, again, solely because the script was written in first person.
Yeah.
It sounded really interesting. Makes me want to read it. But Barbie, for me, is at least a script that I want to own. I want to purchase it. I want to have it on my shelf. I don't know if I would give it second place. I might give second place to Poor Things. But I'm like back and forth.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think the value in Barbie is the fact that there's a lot of jokes going around about Barbie being like literally just a movie about a doll. Listen, somewhat they're not wrong. Like this movie, the origin of this movie was a doll that was somewhat unimportant at times nowadays. Like there's so many dolls and toys in the market that Barbie is kind of falling a little bit behind and trying to get more ahead and whatnot. But that was the base of Barbie, and they made an amazing movie with an amazing message from that base. So I definitely think that it has a lot of credit.
Yeah, I really, really liked everything that I saw from Barbie.
Yeah,
I definitely will be purchasing it. And last category is most important category, which is Best Picture. So exciting. So we have Oppenheimer, Barbie, and Poor Things, the usual trio, all nominated. The winner was Oppenheimer, and we both agreed.
Yeah. I think from the get-go, I was rooting for Oppenheimer to win this one.
Yeah.
It just seems so clear to me.
And
from the time we watched it, too.
Like every previous winner all had that, like, similar... I don't know how to explain it. The ones who win Best Picture all have that...
A vibe.
That, like, cinema
vibe.
you know?
Like you feel it's gonna win, and then it does.
Exactly. Like you're never really surprised when you pay attention to how they make it. Because the Academy likes certain movies. So, but I am happy to see that a bunch of other movies were nominated. Like I know Zone of Interest, I think that technically won the international feature, but was nominated.
Which I think I
for
haven't
Best
watched,
Picture.
but and that no, Mira, for full.
Zone of Interest.
I know, but what was the other one that should have won international? Society of the Snow.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure that one should have won, but
yeah. But yeah, so eventually we'll watch the others on this list. We didn't get around to it, but yeah. So those are the official Oscar categories.
now it's gonna get to
Going
the fun
some
ones.
Genre-based categories. So starting off strong with horror.
Yeah, we watched a couple.
Yeah, and we did not review all of these movies.
No.
So you're in for a little bit of surprise. But our top horror movie of 2023 was Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That movie was so
We
scary.
coincidentally watched it in separate locations. I went to the movies with my friend Katie.
And then I watched it with my
He
mom.
watched it with his mom in the living room. I loved this movie. I was horrified. But it was so
So
fun.
much so that I blocked it out of my memory.
Yeah.
I had to rewatch the trailer a little bit to remember. Halfway through the trailer, I was like, I remember this.
Yeah. We loved this movie. We did give nominations, though, to Five Nights at Freddy's, Insidious, The Red Door, and Megan.
I mean, it's kind of surprising that we did
movies.
mention The Red Door and Megan, because I think these movies weren't too much talked about, especially with Insidious having such better movies prior to that one, like
Right.
the previous Insidious. People are kind of like counting out The Red Door, and then Megan, it's a robot, a doll or something. So people are like, oh, we have Annabelle, it's whatever. But they were actually good movies.
Yeah.
And then Five Nights at Freddy's, come on, that was
Megan
scary.
definitely was a beginning of the year
Yeah.
trend, and then it kind of fell off.
Yeah.
No one talked about it. Five Nights at Freddy's, though, we loved that movie. We
Yeah.
did do a whole review on it, so you can check that out. But yeah, and on drama,
We didn't watch much.
we didn't watch much.
We were kind of
drama.
going back and forth in what could be considered drama instead of like action.
Yeah. So personally, we gave the best drama movie to Oppenheimer as well. With Napoleon, Poor Things, and The Hunger Games being our nominations.
We're kind of going back and forth with Hunger Games being action, but
Same thing with Napoleon.
I think
is that
Oppenheimer
action?
is a
that
fair
not?
winner.
Yeah, I think 100% Oppenheimer is a fair winner. I think this means we have to watch more movies. We have even more random ones.
It really
to mention.
felt like we watched so many movies last year, but no.
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 Not at all. Last category is action, and that goes to Gran Turismo, with nominations being Transformers: Rise of the Beast, Fast X, and Cocaine Bear.
This one was difficult. Like
Yeah.
there's so many good action movies, and I wanted to give it to all of them. But I mean, Gran Turismo, it was
Is the one that we loved
jam-packed.
the most.
Yeah, and I rewatched it like a week after we watched it in theaters.
Yeah.
So
Cocaine Bear, kind of also like a horror action movie.
yeah,
in a
we're
way.
kind of going back and forth. It's nominated as it's said in Google that it's horror and action. So
Yeah. But we did really like that movie. I personally wouldn't want to watch it again because it was horrific.
And then Transformers: Rise of the
Yeah.
Beast made me want to watch every single Transformers movies in chronological order. So what can you do?
Did we do reviews on either Transformers or Fast X?
We did Transformers, I believe.
Okay. So you can check that out.
I
I
don't
don't,
think
know
we
about
did
Fast
Fast
X
X.
though.
I love the Fast and Furious saga.
I feel
She's
things.
watched a couple, but the ones that she watched, she loved. So she has nothing to say, nothing bad to say against them.
I don't know. Why
She's
they're still
not-
being
she-
made.
She has not seen Tokyo Drift, so that'll be our next mission.
Oh, really? That's what's gonna change my mind.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
anyways.
Anyways.
Once again, this was our very first NCA Awards. We meant to do this last year, but we kind of ran out of time. So this year we wanted to make sure we got to it, and then hopefully in the future we can get much better set and stuff and watch more movies and make this a bigger deal.
Yes.
But we wanted to kind of like dip our toes a little bit in there. So thank you so much for being here with us for this very first edition of the NCAT Awards and / Oscar review. You can follow us on Instagram at NCAT the podcast. You can also follow us on TikTok at That Film Couple, which is the same handle for YouTube if you want to watch this video recording and vlogs and some other fun stuff in there as That Film Couple. And then you can follow us on Twitch if you want to see us game a little bit every now and again as Sebas Parra 1K. If you're watching right now on YouTube and you would like to follow our podcast on podcast platforms, you can find us as NCAT ! And then last but not least, you can follow me on Instagram as Sebi.mp4.
And you can follow me at Caitlin.mp4.
This will be all for us today, but we'll see you in the very next one. We actually have something fun coming up.
Do you want to just tell them?
We actually watched Night Swim earlier this year.
Back in January.
And we had the opportunity to amazingly interview the director for this movie.
So exciting. I cannot wait for you guys to see the full interview that we had. We will be posting that next. So please make sure to follow us on our Instagram for updates on when that will be posted. We'll be posting the full interview and the review. So definitely go check that out. We're so excited. We want to include some more interviews. So if you or someone you know works in film and wants to be interviewed,
yeah, director Bryce McGuire was just so kind to be our very first interview in the industry. So hopefully we'll be seeing more of that in the future.
Yes.
That'll be all for us, and we'll see you in the next one.
And cut.